guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Auntie Tay. If you guys are new here, that's who I am. And if you're not, welcome back. And you are watching a new series called Extreme Taykover Room Edition. And Michael from Mr. Crafty Pants' YouTube channel and MrCraftyPants.com is using his Cricut to make over his bathroom using all different types of vinyl from ShopAuntieTay.com. I am so excited. Make sure to check out his channel and leave a comment telling him how much you love him, so that if we want to have him back on my channel, we know that you guys love him, which I already know you're going to love him so much. So take it away.
Welcome to episode 5 of Extreme Taykover Room Edition. I'm Michael from Mr. Crafty Pants, and y'all, this is the finale, the final episode of this 5-episode series where I've been taking over Auntie Tay's channel and transforming my very bland and boring bathroom into a space that I actually love. And here's the twist. I've been doing all of this with the help of my Cricut cutting machine while keeping it renter-friendly and on budget. Now, in each episode, I have been using vinyl from ShopAuntieTay.com to transform different areas of this bathroom, as well as SVGs and fonts from her Craft Day creator membership site, which is amazing. I'm totally obsessed with it. Now, if you have yet to see episodes 1 through 4, then stop and go back and watch all of those right now. I will leave all those linked for you down in the description box below. And now for today's episode. And y'all, I am so excited for today's episode because in it, I am recreating the look and feel of something that I have absolutely wanted so bad for years, but I either couldn't afford it or wasn't allowed to do it because we were renting at the time. And that is this black grid line shower door right here that runs close to $1,000. So when I was planning out this series, I really just kept trying to imagine what I would do if there were no limits. What I would do for this specific bathroom if budget wasn't a factor and neither was renting. And I instantly knew that I had to recreate this look, but on a budget and make it renter friendly. I used Oracal Vinyl from ShopAuntieTay.com to recreate the look and feel of this shower door that I have wanted so long, but doing it on a budget and making it renter friendly. Now here's the thing. I have went back and forth and then back and forth some more, trying to decide if I should do it in Oracal 651 permanent vinyl, which has an outdoor lifespan of 5 to 6 years, and obviously even longer if it's indoors, or if I should have used Oracal 631 removable vinyl, which obviously is engineered for indoors and is really great if you want to put a decal onto your drywall. My concerns are that if I had used Oracal 651 permanent vinyl, whenever it came time to actually remove it from the frame of the shower door, you know, the part that is silver, my fear was potentially peeling up part of that whenever I removed the permanent vinyl. And y'all, to be honest, I really want to get my security deposit back. But on the flip side, with using Oracal 631 removable vinyl, my worry was that it wouldn't last very long because of the heat and moisture from the shower. So if you are asking what I ended up deciding on, I ended up going with Oracal 631 removable vinyl, mainly because this vinyl is so affordable that I figured let's try it out first. And if it doesn't work great, I can always redo it in the 651 permanent vinyl if I'm feeling up to it or feeling a little bit more brave. But here's the thing. This has been up on my shower door for right around 2 months or so, and it's been perfect. There are literally no signs whatsoever of it wanting to peel off at all. Now, I obviously cannot say that everybody who tries this will experience the same exact thing. I can only tell you what's happening for me. But regardless, if you are doing this with Oracal 631 or Oracal 651 from ShopAuntieTay.com, the entire process will be exactly the same, and that is what I'm about to show you right now. So obviously, the first thing that I had to do was to get my measurements for that shower door and for the frame around it, so that I knew exactly how much vinyl I was going to need, as well as how wide and long to cut it, where to place it, etc. You get the idea. Now, one thing that I absolutely knew for sure was that I wanted the shower door handle to be black and to kind of just fade in as one of the grid lines. So to make that happen, I had to make all of my measurements around that shower door handle, since it is smack dab in the middle of that shower door. To make sure that it all looked proportionate, I measured from the top of the handle up to the edge of the frame that ran horizontally horizontally along the top of the glass door and found that that was 31 3/4 of an inch. Now, since the height of my shower door handle was 1 inch, I knew that I needed to make my other grid lines 1 inch as well. So I then took that measurement, deducted an inch, divided it in half, and I knew that my other horizontal grid lines would have to start at 15 3/8 of an inch from the edge of the shower door frame or from the top of the door handle. Now, as far as the vertical grid lines go, I measured the width of the inside of the shower door frame and found that it was 25 1/2 inches. Since I knew that I needed a 1 inch grid line in that space, what I did was deduct 1 inch and divided that by 2 to figure out how much space to leave between each grid line, and that left me with 12 1/4 inches. Now, what I'm going to do is to jump into Cricut Design Space with my measurements and create my door basically in Cricut Design Space. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to come over here to the left-hand side of the page and click on Shapes, and I want to open up a square. Perfect. And what I'm wanting to do now is to head up here towards the top of the canvas, right up here where it says size, and I want to unlock this padlock right here. And basically by doing that, that just means that you're unlocking the proportions so that you can change the width and the height separately. So I know that the width of that frame that actually holds in that glass is 1 1/4 inches. So I'm gonna come over here to width and type in 1.25, hit enter to change that to the equivalent of 1 1/4 inches. Now the left and right sides of this frame is 67 inches tall, but the Cricut Joy can only cut up to 48 inches at a time. So what I'm going to do is just divide this in half. So we're going to do 33 1/2 inches. So I'm just going to change that height to 33.5, hit enter, and this is the top left-hand side of our shower door. And if you haven't noticed already, I did come down here towards the bottom left-hand side of the page and click this little minus button right here to completely zoom out on the canvas. That way I can see more of the bigger picture here. So now what I'm going to do is to right click it and come down here and select duplicate. And I'm just going to butt that up end to end with each other. All right, so here is our two sides right here. What I'm going to do is just click and drag over both of them, and then come over here towards the top right hand corner and select group. Then I'm going to right click it and then come down here and select duplicate. So now I'm just going to drag this over here to the side, and all of a sudden we have our right hand side. All right, so now let's recreate the top and bottom horizontal sections of this frame. So I'm going to come back over here to the left hand side of the page, click on Shapes, and click on Square again. And you guessed it, come up here towards the top of the canvas, click this little padlock right here to unlock those proportions. Now I know that the width of my frame is 27 3/4 of an inch, so I'm going to change the width to 27.75. And I'm going to change the height to 1.25 for 1 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to drag that right over here. So I'm going to right click this top horizontal section right here and come down here and select duplicate. And then just drag that down here towards the bottom. Now obviously the placement of where we put these on the Design Space canvas doesn't really matter a whole lot. More or less, it's really just serving as visualization. All right, so we have our outer frame. Now let's go in here and create our grid lines. And to create those grid lines, what I'm going to do is just to right click this top horizontal bar, click duplicate, drag that down just a hair, and we'll just change the measurements of it. So we know that we want our grid lines to be 1 inch thick. So what I'm going to do is come up here towards the top of the canvas and change this height from 1 1/4 to just 1. Now it's just time for us to change the width. Now the width of the glass inside of the frame was 25 3/8 of an inch wide. And so I'm just going to plug that in up here at the top of the canvas. And the decimal for 3/8 of an inch is just 0.375. So I'm just going to type in here 25.375. And that should fit in perfectly inside of this frame. And looky there, it does. All right, so I'm just going to duplicate this 2 times. Because even though our shower door handle is going to serve as one of the grid lines, I do want a black grid line hiding behind it so that no matter where you are in the bathroom, how close you are to it, or how far away you are from it, it's always going to keep that same illusion. All right, so now we just need one vertical line to run right down in the middle. So I'm coming back over here to the left-hand side of the canvas, selecting Shapes, coming up here towards the top of the canvas and unlocking those proportions. And for this one, since it is going to be a vertical line, the width will be just 1 inch. just like the other grid lines. We just need to keep in mind about the limitations of how long the Cricut Joy can cut. And since it can only cut up to 4 feet at a time of any one type of pattern, what we're gonna have to do is to change this a little bit, just like we did for the left and right side of this frame. And so since the top of the frame down to the middle grid line was 31 3/4 of an inch, that's what I'm gonna change each section to for this vertical line. So I'm gonna come up here towards the top of the canvas, right here next to height. I'm gonna change that to 31, and for 3/4, it'll be 0.75. All right, so let me go ahead and duplicate this. All right, so more or less, there is our black grid line shower door. So I'm gonna come up here towards the top right-hand corner of the canvas and select Make It. And this is just showing a matte preview, okay? So what we wanna do is actually click and drag these pieces out just a little bit, because once this is all cut out, what we're gonna have to do is kind of go back in here and trim down each section with scissors. And so you wanna leave enough of a gap right down here between each of these columns for your scissors to fit. Make sure to scroll all the way down and do it with these other columns as well. Super simple, you just click and drag wherever you want it to go. All right, so now I'm gonna come over here towards the bottom right-hand corner and select Continue. Now, just based purely on the size of our cut alone, it is automatically assuming that we are cutting without a mat and that we are using the Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl. However, we're not. What we're gonna have to do is actually trick the machine into thinking that we are cutting with Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl, and in reality, we'll be using the Oracal 631 removable vinyl, or whatever you decide to use. Now, one of the most important things with all of this is to recreate the size of the Cricut Smart Vinyl. And you can do that by trimming down your vinyl to a width of exactly 5.5 inches. Not anything smaller, not anything bigger. So for the material settings, you are definitely going to want to pick the Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl in removable. And since we're not using the Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl, I would personally change my pressure to less. I would also do a small test cut first. You want to make sure that you're not cutting all the way through your vinyl, and you also want to make sure that you're not damaging your blade or your actual machine. Now, also be aware that by doing this, you are most likely voiding out your warranty on the Cricut Joy. So do this at your own risk. And please, please, please do a test cut. All right, so here I am right here, just measuring out my Oracal 631 removable vinyl and making my necessary marks for my cuts. And remember that for the vinyl that you're feeding into the machine without a mat, just make sure that it's cut to precisely 5.5 inches wide. Okay, so earlier I mentioned leaving a little bit of space in between each of your columns, and just enough room for you to actually get your scissors down through there and cut each of them out. And the reason I'm saying this is because I actually found it to be so much easier to apply the vinyl strips to the actual shower door when it was all actually cut out into an actual strip, and I could just peel back one end of that vinyl strip, apply it to the shower door, and then peel it off the backing paper as I went along. And y'all, it was so easy. And just to be honest, it was so much easier than I ever thought it would be. Now, as you can see, I actually removed my shower doors and brought it into my kitchen to apply the vinyl there. For me, that worked out so much easier. However, I know that every shower door is different and you may not be able to do so. And as far as this frame around our actual shower doors, I went ahead and got the measurements of that and cut that off of camera and applied it myself, because honestly, the biggest part of all of this was how to do the shower doors. The rest of that is honestly super easy. And for one last time, here is the before and here is the after. Thank you all so much for watching today's video and this entire series thus far. And thank you so much to Auntie Tay for even reaching out to me and giving me this amazing opportunity. I honestly cannot thank you enough. This has been a life-changing experience for me, like truly, and I am so beyond grateful for this opportunity. I have looked up to Auntie Tay and watched her videos for years now. For years. And to have somebody that you love and admire on the internet reach out to you and actually see potential in you is mind-blowing, to say the least. So Auntie Tay, thank you so much for believing in me. Now for those who are watching, if you are new around here to Auntie Tay's channel, you are definitely going to want to go ahead and stamp that subscribe button to subscribe to her channel. And if you would like to see even more Cricut projects and tutorials and inspiration over on my channel, be sure to do a search here on YouTube for Mr. Crafty Pants Cricut Tutorials, or just simply click that link that is down in the description box below. Thank you all again for watching. I am so grateful for each and every single one of you all. And until next time, stay crafty.